Hi, my name is Marilyn, and for this video I'm going to be doing a part 2 of my record collection. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out part 1 and let's just get right into this one. I love treasure hunting for records in thrift stores and vintage shops, so when I came across this record, I completely lost it. So one of my proudest finds was this record. I found it in the Arts District in downtown of Las Vegas, and I'm not sure the name of the antique shop that it was in. So the record that I found was December Underground by AFI. Now it did have a few defects, and it kind of, for the price, was sort of a gamble. I know this record unsealed goes for a lot, but for an open one in perfect condition that I'm actually going to use for 60 bucks, like I think I got a good deal. It had the biggest sticker just right here in the middle. It was like some old crusty Pink Floyd sticker, and I mean from the outside and even the insert is in perfect condition. Like besides the big sticker that it had, this record for that price, you can't really beat it. Since the sticker was kind of old, I was just hoping that it was like all dried up under there so it can just get peeled off, and my sister was actually able to get it off, so that was really awesome. Especially because it's one of my favorite AFI records. I'm a huge fan of AFI and Davey Havok specifically, so if you know anything about him, you know he was also in a band called Son of Sam. This album is Songs from the Earth. They have more of a death rock and horror punk kind of sound and started in the 2000s. This album was a limited pressing of 300 and it also comes on clear vinyl. And the story behind the signature on that one is that I got it signed at DragCon actually when Davey and Jade performed last year. It was really cool. Right after their performance, they did a huge signing and I got a whole bunch of stuff signed. So my first AFI record that I showed, I got after DragCon, so that's why that one doesn't have any signatures. But I did have this Son of Sam one sealed until then, so I just had to get it open for Davey to sign. The next record that I have to show is a little different. I started getting into Disney vinyl because I have one of the Haunted Mansion that I randomly found. I like the ones that have the pages in them, like the little book in front of it. And this one is one of my favorite stories from my childhood. So this is Peter and the Wolf. I found this at Rhino Records in Claremont, and it has a whole bunch of beautiful artwork. Now what I really love about this story is I was remembering, because I used to have this on VHS as a kid, and I wanted to look it up to see if it was online, and I would have thought it would be on Disney Plus, but it wasn't. So when I went to go Google search it, it was so weird to me that it said that this was voiced by David Bowie, and if you look it up on YouTube, that's what it's labeled as, but actually it was narrated by Sterling Holloway. So yeah, I thought that was really weird, and I really like this take on Peter and the Wolf because if you haven't listened to it, I would really recommend it. Each of the animals is represented by a different instrument in the story. So as a kid, I always had an interest in instruments, and I'd like to think that it's because of a lot of these Disney movies that I watched. It's not in the greatest condition, but to me, these are just kind of more of like nostalgic. So I've been picking up some of the stories that I really like. Next I have Dead or Alive's Nude. And I actually found it in a 50-cent bin at a sale from 11th Street Records in Las Vegas. I absolutely love the cover of this record, and you have to look at the back. It's the most ridiculous Pete Burns-ness that you've ever seen. All of the songs on here make me really happy, so I've been listening to a lot of them. Some of the songs that I like on here are Baby Don't Say Goodbye and I Don't Want to Be Your Boyfriend. And this is definitely my favorite Dead or Alive record. Another great find from 11th Street Records is this one by Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry. And if you're a fan of post-punk, I would really recommend this album. This one specifically is their smashed hits, so it's kind of a compilation of their more notable songs. So it includes Hollow Eyes, Monkeys on Juice. I don't see many people really talk about this band that much, but they're definitely one of my favorites. Now, if you asked me what my favorite song from the 80s was, my only answer is Running Up That Hill. And I got this record by Kate Bush at Amoeba before it closed. I'm so sad that we'll never be able to step foot in the original Amoeba records in Hollywood ever again. since with everything that's going on, they won't reopen anyways until the new location is open. So I'm glad I got this one while I was there. Next I have Jeton de Mons, The Reflection Shadow, and this is more of an experimental dark jazz album. This is one of her most recent solo projects, and her works as a notable figure in Christian death and work with Roz Williams specifically is what she's known for. I was able to get this record signed by her at Dr. Strange Records when they did a release for the Christian death book. This record isn't really my style of music, but just being able to support her and have this in my collection with her signature is like mind-blowing to me. Another one that's signed by a living legend of death rock is 45 Graves' record, Sleep in Safety. I especially love this record because if you watched my other video, you know I love colored vinyl, and this one is a bright green. I actually kept my ticket in here, I guess, so I was able to see them. It says November 21st, 2018. It was in this really small bar, and Andina Cancer was actually just sitting there like inside of one of the booths. So I went up to her with my record, and it was so cool. She said she liked my makeup, and I like was gonna cry because it's freaking her, you know. I had met her once before, I think at like Monsterpalooza, just randomly, so she's always been really nice. And just the fact that this record in particular is like colored and a classic and has her signature, it's definitely like at the top of one of my most prized possessions. And that's actually all the records that I picked out, so I know I'm kind of going really fast on this one, but it's really hot today. But before I go, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel as well. If you have any recommendations of any other videos that you'd like to see from me, make sure to leave it down below as well. I also recently started up a TikTok, so if you want to follow me on there or on Instagram, they're all at MarilynMugBeat. I'll see you next time. Bye!